Good late Monday evening. I'm certified meteorologist Nick Kelly checking in on this June 18th of 2018. We had another somewhat hot but still humid day. Thankfully, changes are on the way. Let's start breaking it down. So what are we keeping an eye on over the next several days? We have our next system that is ready to start working on in. As it does, it'll bring better rain and thunderstorm chances along with it, not to mention a nice break from the heat, with highs planning on dropping back into the 80s for the rest of the week. It will be a nice change of pace before, if we stick with Doug's pattern, we see a hot end to the month of June only next week. Thankfully, we are looking nice and quiet from 7th end range line from the east side of Joplin. The numbers for today checked in with a warm start again this morning at 75 and an afternoon high of 91. Both numbers above our averages of 66 and 87, and certainly not anywhere close to our record high of 100 and our record low of 52. At the last check of the current conditions out at the airport in Joplin, it was sitting at 80 degrees with it feeling like 83, thanks to dew points still kind of up there and muggy territory, the upper 60s. Everybody's in the same boat, really. Upper 70s to about 80 degrees, but when you factor in the humidity, it still feels like everybody's pretty much in the lower 80s. Thankfully, these numbers will continue to drop as we keep things quiet tonight. The Skywise Storm Tracker kept us quiet all day long. Passing cloud cover to be sure, but we still had our fair amount of sunshine throughout the day. No rain really to speak of around here. Throughout the day, though, you didn't have to venture too far to the west and even to the northwest, where we had a good area of thunderstorms from about, let's say, Junction City, Abilene, working up toward close to Sabetha, Marysville, and north central, northeastern parts of Kansas. But a better and organized area of rain and storms worked their way from the Omaha metro and are still working their way across the northern parts of Iowa tonight. The overall setup in the jet stream level is starting to change quite a bit, though. You can see this upper level ridge, this area of high pressure denoting that ridge. It was in full control over the weekend. That's what kept us hot, humid, and quiet as far as rain chances go, which were pretty much zilch throughout the course of the weekend that we just wrapped up. On the backside of this, though, we finally have this upper low starting to get its act together. So what is it doing? It is starting to shift that ridge off to the east, and at the surface, that upper level low will start to finally allow our next front. This front that's been off to the north for quite some time now to finally start working in. For tomorrow, though, it's going to be a pretty quiet day overall. We'll start quiet and mild in the morning with lows in most spots dropping off to about let's say 72, 73 degrees. And as we go throughout the course of the day, again, like the past few days, can't rule out a random thunderstorm, but in general, it's going to be a warm day. At least we should stay out of the 90s for afternoon highs on Tuesday. But even with highs planning on topping out in the upper 80s, we are still going to have to contend with some high humidity. So what will that do? It will make it feel like we're in mainly the mid, if not upper 90s throughout Tuesday afternoon before we see those numbers start to drop. Thankfully, those numbers don't quite qualify the area for heat advisories, so we don't have to worry about that. But still, you want to take it easy if you have any outdoor plans Tuesday afternoon. I think Tuesday, the day proper, is looking okay, but as we go into the overnight and into Wednesday morning, as that next system finally starts to work in, I think we could see some thunderstorm chances try to percolate and get going Wednesday morning, and I think thunderstorm chances can really start to ramp up as we go into Wednesday afternoon. As long as we have the system still around, we'll hold on to those rain and thunderstorm chances Thursday, Friday, and going into this coming weekend. And even though the front doesn't completely sweep on through, and in fact, it'll start to lift back to the north as we go through the course of the coming weekend, as long as we have this front still around, it will keep rain and thunderstorm chances around. So with the system around, it's also going to bring a nice break in the heat. After we go to 89 tomorrow, let's say 84 Wednesday, lower 80s for the first official day of summer on Thursday and Friday. And inevitably, as we see that system start to lift back to the north, we will see temperatures warm up a bit as a result. But you can see this first weekend of summer not looking bad in general, with highs staying in the 80s. So it's a nice change of pace so that we can finally catch at least a bit of a brief break from the heat. Let's recap your forecast for tonight. We will keep things quiet tonight with partly cloudy skies. And everybody should start off on a mild note. The future track has the right idea with what I'm thinking. We'll start around 72 in the morning with a south breeze at 5 to 10, and we'll generally stay partly to mostly sunny throughout the day tomorrow, with temperatures pushing 84 by lunchtime and 89 in the city of Joplin for an afternoon high. Again, we can't rule out a random thunderstorm late in the afternoon. That's the thing in general. It's going to be pretty hard to come by. Let's say for everybody, we will top out in the upper 80s for your Tuesday afternoon. Then again, 84 on Wednesday. The mercury starts to drop. It's a better rain. Chances start to ramp up. 82 Thursday, 81 Friday. We stay in the 80s for the first weekend of the summer season. And then once we get beyond next Monday, we need to keep an eye out for the 90s that will want to return as we wrap up the month of June. Have a good night. Have a great Tuesday.